Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here, and it's the anniversary of the NeverEnding Story. What a film!
What a movie that was
yes!
made.
Is it the greatest child fantasy thing ever, or is it really overrated? Let's find out today on Talking About Tapes.
Tapes, we're talking about tapes.
Hello, Doug from Good Times, Great Movies.
Tony, I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here too.
Thrilled to be talking about the never-ending. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, the
You know what?
NeverEnding
It
Story.
can make for a great conversation.
It is going to make for a great conversation. So, I feel like everyone kind of grew up on this movie. Now, I mean, you're older than me. It's been established.
Yeah.
You're much older.
Much.
You're nearing the end. It's coming soon. Some say not soon enough. I don't say that. Other people say that.
You can't hold out 2 more weeks, everybody?
Apparently not. Apparently not. So, was this in the theater for you? Do you remember this?
I remember watching it on tape. I was probably 8 or 9.
Okay.
I went to my uncle's to like stay over. It was a big deal. It was like, oh, I get to stay with my uncle and aunt. I didn't know what this was. And he put it on, showed it to me. I remember really being afraid of it when I was younger.
It's pretty chilling.
Then, lights out, time for bed. And I'm pretty sure I laid there awake for like 4 hours. And then I hadn't seen it again till I did it for my show a couple years back.
Okay. Oh, you're double dipping. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, any chance to talk about the NeverEnding Story, any chance to watch it again and be baffled as to why anyone really.
Doug, if I knew it, we would have done NeverEnding Story 2, but I don't know when that anniversary is.
There's 2 and 3. I'll always come back.
The event I was at, Crypt Video Rentals, they were selling custom figures. And they had a custom Jack Black as the bad guy from NeverEnding Story 3 figure.
Didn't even know he was in it.
Yeah, that's one of his early movies. He's the bad guy in it.
I mean, shockingly, after watching this, I did not seek out 2 and 3.
Well, you probably should have sought out 2. I should watch 2.
Oh, okay.
So it turns out this is based off a book, which I actually didn't know all these years. It became like a big franchise, a bunch of films. There was an animated series they used to play on HBO. They played this a lot on like HBO and premium cable stuff. That's what I caught it a lot as a kid. Was never super into it. It's one of those I always watch this movie, but in the back of my mind, I was always like, I wish Legend or Kroll was on.
Listen, but HBO would do that for you when you were a kid, or do that to you when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Caddyshack 2. I have seen upwards of 15 times because of HBO.
I might have only seen it a handful of times.
I saw Caddyshack 1 once. That's it.
You know what's funny?
So, yeah.
With HBO or Cinemax, I kind of group them in together.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I thought I loved Nothing But Trouble. Dan Aykroyd's Nothing But Trouble. I used to watch it all the time. This is great. And then years ago, it's actually the very first video on this channel is when I switched to YouTube for reviewing. Is me and my friend reviewing Nothing But Trouble. And I watched it years later through different lenses. I'm like, oh, this movie's terrible. I'm like, it was just on HBO all the time, so I assumed it was good.
Yeah.
Why would HBO put a bad movie on their platform?
HBO Stockholm Syndrome. I've seen Who's That Girl way too many times. It's the Madonna movie that I know backwards and forwards.
So yeah, it was based off a book, and I forgot to put in my notes. But I think the writer of the book was working with the movie, and then he realized it was going in a whole different thing. I think he wanted his name off the movie. It only adapts the first half of the book.
Okay.
So apparently the NeverEnding Story, the title, they give a reason for that title in the movie, but the reason from the book is not in the film because they didn't adapt that part of the book.
Listen, if you're trying to bring people in because they've read the book, I get it. And if that's the title of the book, you put it on the movie, great. Yeah. And I don't need the title to be explained to me. I'm fine with just whatever the hell it says. It doesn't. The character doesn't need to say, you know what the NeverEnding Story really means. The NeverEnding Story is a story inside all of us that just never ends. You don't need that, but give me something in this movie.
I'm guessing the book had a different reason for whatever that meant, and the movie did something else. But this was directed by Wolfgang Peterson, and I believe he did The Perfect Storm. That's the one that's jumping out at me.
I think you're right, but I'm just saying that because I'm talking to you.
Well, luckily Luckily, we have the internet in here.
What? Now, The Perfect Storm, was that the one where Marky Mark dies at sea?
Spoiler!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
That was the movie that I went to knowing nothing. And at the beginning, it's like based on a true story. And at the end, I'm like, wait, they all died. How true is this? They caught a shark and it bit a guy's hand? I don't think that happened.
Wolfgang Peterson is dead? Well, now I feel bad about what we're going to say about these films.
You'd feel better if he were alive and could possibly stumble upon this?
Look, he made some really good films. Das Boot, The Perfect Storm, Air Force One.
Okay, all right.
Outbreak. He did some really, really good films. I believe. Oh, and he also did Troy. I believe.
Troy?
Yeah.
What is that?
With Brad Pitt.
Oh,
that's trying to cash in on Gladiator, and it didn't quite. Yeah, it's one of those. That'd be a fun one to do one day. All right. I know him, well, obviously from those movies, but like originally he, in like the early 2000s, was supposed to direct the Batman versus Superman movie that never got made.
Okay.
I believe it was him. This segment will be cut out if that's not the case.
No.
But that's,
all of this should be. You just want to start over.
I don't know why this would be in my head if it wasn't true. But I remember there was like a big article in Entertainment Weekly, like Wolfgang Peterson, Batman v Superman, oh, it's gonna be great. And in the bottom, it's like 2 possible crossovers coming too. It's like AVP and Freddy vs. Jason. Then those 2 got made.
Oh my god!
Batman v Superman didn't get made for like a decade. So yeah, he's a German filmmaker. This was like the biggest production outside of America and the Soviet Union at the time that I read.
What were they spending money on?
I mean, did you see the size of Falcor? That's a big fucking Muppet.
It is a big puppet. There were a lot of weird things where I'm like, wait, is that a puppet?
This
I guess it's a person in a
I was looking at it. I watched this in beautiful VHS,
of course,
on a 4K TV. So
amazing.
I got like the perfect experience. Did you watch it in HD?
I watched it on my phone as Wolfgang intended for it to be watched while I did dishes.
That's the way. People are so sad theaters are dying. I'm like, why?
I'm like, this is amazing. I can get so much stuff done.
I can watch a 480p fuzzy resolution VHS on my 4K 70-inch screen. And you can watch it on your tiny phone.
I have things to do.
We don't need the theater anymore. Why try to struggle listening to a film with a stranger next to you when you can do it with your family around?
That's right.
You can pause it at least until they shut up.
Yeah, I have my earbuds. That's a dog that plays basketball. But I have those in. I'm not listening to anyone. I'm fixated by the scintillating dialogue.
My last girlfriend's family would always do the thing. They're like, let's put a movie on. And in my head, I'm like, why? Why are we going to do it? And like, sure enough, 2 minutes of the movie, they're just talking about other stuff, not watching. And it was annoying when it was a movie that I wanted to watch. And I'm like, I'm trying to ignore it because I want to go in fresh. And I'm like, I'm going home.
I have never been a fan of that. I will try and avoid that at any turn. First of all, my tastes in movies differ wildly from anyone I interact with on a daily basis. So I will never sit down and watch a movie.
You're not putting Immaculate on for everybody. I know how much you like that one.
I really loved it. I loved it. It was really good.
Hey guys, it's Easter. I got just the movie. Let's put Immaculate on.
It's like me and my oldest daughter. We're going to see Immaculate. You have no better way to bond with my kid.
Anyway, NeverEnding Story.
Yeah.
So again, this one played a lot as a kid. I watched it a lot as a kid. Was never super into it. So I was curious how I was going to feel going into it this time. And I guess we're just going to go through the movie now and find out.
Yeah. I mean, nostalgia's big.
And I bring that up all the time.
Hard sometimes.
I have nostalgia for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And my prime example is the Mortal Kombat film. I love that film. Right. I will watch that film until the day I die. I love everything about that film.
Right.
I have a video on this channel explaining how it makes no fucking sense at all. It's completely asinine. I don't understand how the tournament's working, but I can separate those two things. There are people that are like, I like that movie as a kid and it's perfect. It's like,
right. No, I think it's important to know that some art is objectively bad,
Yes.
even if you personally enjoy it. And
Yeah.
I just assume that there were a lot of sad children that watched this
Yes.
and are now still sad adults that really connect with this character.
I don't know what was going on in the 80s, but there was like a lot of weird, like sad childhood stuff. Like they did like Return to Oz, I think. I don't know what was going on with you guys there.
I don't know.
See, I'm a 90s kid. We had the Power Rangers just suddenly showing up in Japan for a fight scene talking about friendship. I don't know what the hell was going on with you guys.
I don't know. And there's Muppets everywhere. You have
yeah, you guys also had a lot of Muppets.
all over the place.
You guys really liked your Muppets. I don't know what was going on with that.
I don't know. Jim Henson couldn't get a day off. That was it.
So the movie starts with the smoke and watery effect, which I always like. We did
I do like that. I really like the look of the opening credits.
Yeah, they were cool. And it's playing over the song. I do miss that. I miss songs that have the title of the movie in them. We need that. We need that.
NeverEnding Story.
Immaculate, gonna smash the baby's head. Like that would have made that movie so much better,
Would have
right?
ruined the ending of the movie a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Whereas you said having the title of the NeverEnding Story in your song ruins nothing.
So yeah, now the song is stuck in my head for the second time in the last few years because they played it in Stranger Things, and it was like, I don't know what it is.
I don't remember that episode.
It was, what was it, season 3? It was like the end of season 3.
It's fine. Most of Stranger Things is gone.
You know what?
It was there for a while, and now it's all gone.
A lot of it I know they're making a new season. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah,
I went on the Universal Studios maze
Nope.
in October. It was all
What?
about season 4, and I was like,
Oh.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that. Who's
Yeah.
that guy?
Nope. It's like Game of Thrones. I'm not going to recap either. I'm going to go in and not know people's names, where people are located, and eventually what's happening, and then stop watching it.
So Bastian wakes up. He's our star of this film, and he bores his dad about his dead mom again.
What? Okay, this
That was a very uncomfortable scene.
I would rather watch a movie about this family dynamic
Yes.
than going to the land of make-believe or
Yeah.
whatever it's called. Did you notice what his dad was making? His dad puts orange juice and just an egg in a blender, blends it up, pours it in a cup, sits down and just sipping on that thing.
Is this like a...
I don't know.
It's a shame Carl's not here. We should ask a German. Is this like a German thing where like they didn't realize it wouldn't translate well to America? They're like, oh yes, Americans, they love blending
But
oranges.
it's bizarre because it takes place in America, I think.
Yeah,
These are all American actors. So I can't believe the dad who's married to Delta Burke wasn't like, maybe, why... Nobody does this. Wolfgang, nobody does this.
I also thought it was weird that I feel like most of that scene is just one static camera shot. And it's just like, he's basically being like, hey kid, I know your mom's dead, but like, can you stop being a bitch about it?
Can you get over? No time frame. We have no idea how long.
Yeah, I really want to know. Like,
yeah.
it's just like, dude, your mom died in childbirth. You didn't even know her. You need to get over it now.
Exactly. Or this could have happened last week. And the dad is finally, he's broken out of that prison of a
I need
marriage.
to know who's wrong in this situation.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
I don't feel like there's a middle ground here.
And he's trying to connect to his son while he's like paying bills or something. Like he's not paying attention. And he's so upset. He's like, I can't believe you didn't try out for swim team.
Yeah. What's wrong with you? You're acting like your mom died. Oh, wait, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Also, you drawing horses again? In your
I was
math
going to say,
class?
Bastian is a horse girl, obsessed with horses. But I'm sorry. Sorry, Dad. They're not horses. They're unicorns.
I wanted Major Dad. I don't know who the actor is. He was in a sitcom called Major Dad.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted him to be like, that's 80% more gay. It's so bizarre.
He's like, kid, I was going to let horses slide because I can think of generals riding horses, but you said unicorn. I got nothing for you.
And
there.
also he's like, I know you love horses. I wanted you to take horseback riding lessons, and you're also too scared to get on horses. It was a very confusing conversation. And at the end of the conversation, the Dad's like, I'm glad we had this talk. I really feel like we connected here.
Have fun at school, kid. So yeah, he's I guess one of the reasons he's doing bad in school is because bullies are throwing him in garbage dumps, and it seems like it's a regular thing.
Also, I don't understand this world that we're living in. Because if you look outside of that house, it's picturesque.
Yeah.
A yard that goes on for miles. He's suddenly in the middle of the city. It appears he walked there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a good place to just be walking
We never
around.
see him taking public transportation. I don't know how he got from A to B, but you're right. Apparently every day he's getting thrown in dumpsters by bullies.
And then they wait outside the dumpster for him to come out so they can throw him back in the dumpster.
Yes.
Don't they also have to go to school? They have their school bags. It's not like they're skipping school. They're just being assholes.
Yeah. I also don't know the timetable for this. It appears he stays at school overnight, but the bullies at the end are still dressed the same way they were at the beginning.
They probably shot it on the same day.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Wolfgang, continuity, man.
Come on, Wolf. Well, I mean, he's dead. We can't really help him now.
All right.
And you need to get over Wolfgang's death, all right, Doug? You need to get over it. Stop trolling unicorns. We gotta get back to this.
But I don't know when he died. It could have been last week.
It was 2022.
Oh, okay. Right.
You need to
No,
get
it wasn't that long ago.
He wanders into a bookstore and meets an angry man. This is another uncomfortable scene.
Yeah.
And this is a thread that I guess maybe is tied up in NeverEnding Story too. Because this old man never shows up again after this scene, but he's reading a book.
I did see that this old man is also in NeverEnding Story 2 and perhaps 3 as well.
Okay. So I know 2 is at least kind of inspired by the second half of the book.
Okay.
3 is its own complete new story. So
I mean, Jack Black's in it. All bets are off.
So yeah, he's reading a book, and he's just like, the video arcade is down there. You like beep beeps.
I love it when he's like, these are books. They're rectangular and there's no beeps or blorps or bloops.
It's just like, yeah, but they know what books are. The kid goes to school.
And the kid goes, I know what books are.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, what? You know what books are?
Oh, and he's just like, yes, I read books. Tarzan. He like names the most generic books. Like, okay.
Yep, Swiss Family Robinson.
Yeah.
I read that one.
Robinson Crusoe. I don't know why he talks so weird.
Tarzan or Robinson Crusoe.
But that's what I like about him.
This kid is indignant. He's so angry at this guy. They're like matching each other's just disgruntled energy.
And they're also a little too close to each other. If this movie was being made today, they'd be a little bit further apart in this conversation. He's getting real close to that kid's face. I don't know. Again, I wasn't in the 80s. I don't know how many old men that you guys were getting face to face with.
Listen, sometimes they touched you, sometimes they didn't. You rolled the dice.
Emotionally is what you meant. We got to stay on YouTube.
You rolled the dice when you went into an empty bookstore inhabited by one singular old man.
Yeah. So he's reading a book, and he's just like, this book is dangerous. And you definitely don't want it. It's only for cool kids. You wouldn't even be able to handle it.
Yes.
He's totally gaslighting this kid into stealing the book.
If you were going to steal a book from this store, steal anyone but this particular book here.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to make a phone call maybe?
Yeah. I know you're looking around the store right now, looking what to take. But let me just tell you, Doug, Daisy Durkins of the Dinosaur Apocalypse, you wouldn't like it. Not for you.
Oh.
Not for you. You're not ready for this.
Well, wait, there's another copy. Oh, this is a different
that's
movie.
the previous
Oh my God,
one.
there's a whole series.
It's a trilogy.
All right.
I'm in the third one. It's just not,
So
it's not ready for you, okay?
So I shouldn't. I should
You
steal
shouldn't take it.
anything else.
You shouldn't take it. Oh, I got to make a phone call. What's going on? Hello?
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll take this.
Yes. This is the end of the bit. Okay.
I can't fit this in my pocket. It's too big.
You tried your best. All right. So he steals the book and he leaves a letter. I will return your book.
I owe you one magical book.
So yeah, he goes to school and he skips his math test. Which, I mean, I can relate to this. I knew every day I went into school for a math test, I was like, it's not going to end well for Tony.
Nope, not at all.
Luckily, I go to a school that just passes me for no reason. But
No, I didn't do homework after 4th grade. I was like, wait, this is kind of optional? I could still pass every class without doing the homework?
Pretty much.
I'll do that.
Well, I learned pretty quick in my grade school. I was like, oh, as long as I don't just like yell too much, I'll just keep getting passed. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But he goes the extra length of just taking the book and going into the school's attic.
The haunted attic at this elementary school?
I don't know. I can't wait till later where we talk about like what they have in this attic.
Why this set? Like, who built this and was like, yeah, it kind of looks like it would be the attic in a high rise in the city.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying schools don't have attics. It's just this looked like the attic of a mansion, not a school. For me.
No. This is just
and like what was in there
home.
didn't seem like school related things. That was the weird part.
No, if you want to wait, we'll wait. But
yes,
you're right,
we will
because
wait.
it's so strange.
Yeah,
Like, none of this. It's not like a pile of math books are just sitting in the corner.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Okay, so he starts reading the book. We see Deep Roy and a bunch of Muppets.
Right. Yep.
He's got a snail. There's a bat. I don't know, some goblin thing. And then a big rock man shows up, the rock biter.
And he like rides in on a like a tricycle, like a rock powered tricycle.
Yes.
Well, not rock powered. Well, he is a rock and he is pedaling.
He is rock powered, and
right.
he eats rocks. Seems a little cannibalistic, but you know, whatever. He shows up and he's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm gonna eat some rocks with you," and he's almost killing them.
Yeah.
He's like, "I came here." The world's called Fantasia, by the way. He's like, "I came here because..."
Very original. They're there to find unobtainium, I believe.
They better watch out for the bad guy, Darth Sidious. But yeah, so there's something called the Nothing, and it's spreading throughout the land, and it's literally
Eating
nothing.
People, killing people, destroying land. This is when the plot of this movie is unveiled, and I still don't really know what's happening.
Yes.
Like what the crux of this entire movie is.
I know. It's this.
Every time I watch it, I forget that the wolf isn't the Nothing.
Yes,
the
there is a wolf coming up.
Helping the Nothing do whatever the Nothing's doing.
He explains his reasoning at the end. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, so the rock says like, hey, the Nothing is spreading. It's like there was a lake and then it was gone.
A hole?
A hole would be something. No, it was nothing.
I do like the puppetry that's going on here.
It's great.
But like there's this weird dialogue. I kind of like the weird dialogue and line delivery. That is not Deep Roy's voice at all. But it adds to like the dreamlike atmosphere. So like I kind of like this, but the problem is all these
I feel like every character is ADR. Everyone. When he finally meets the princess, I was like, well, this is neither of their voices right now.
So we're getting introduced to all these characters. And as I was watching this the other day, there are scenes in this film that are like burned in my memory because I saw them so much. And it like, as much as the movie's not great, it does stick with you.
Sure.
And in my head, I'm like, you know what? I'm probably forgetting about like a bunch of other scenes. I'm looking at these characters like, oh, I remember these characters. And I know at some point they like disappear at the end. I'm like, but yeah, I guess they go on that adventure with Atreyu. They are, one of them is in the scene after this and they are gone. One comes back at the very end, but like we spend so much time in this section of the film with these characters that they're just there to let us know that there's something bad eating people's lands, but we could have gotten that information.
Other ways to do that.
Yeah.
And we referenced Labyrinth earlier, and that's really nice because there's just a collection of creatures that then follow Jennifer Connelly and help her out. These do nothing, and you said they disappear so far that near the end, the one's like, I don't know, they're all dead.
Yeah, it was the funniest thing. I'm like, oh, they're just dead. But yeah, I'm sitting there and I'm like, and there's another big thing that I thought was a bigger thing. We'll get to him soon. But I'm just like, oh my God, I thought these were like main characters. This is like, if you put Star Wars on, I don't know if you know what Star Wars is. It was ruined because it's woke down. But the original one, you know how you spent a lot of time with R2-D2 and C-3PO in the beginning? Imagine if they just disappeared in the second and third act. And they were gone.
That would be great. If Luke was like, where are those robots?
Yeah,
and Obi-Wan's like, oh, they're dead.
They have those robots totally out the Empire. Now I'm going to take over. And it's like, oh, we spent
those robots, they blew up. They're gone.
That's how I feel about this. I'm like, what was the point of showing me the fast snail if it's not going to be like a big part of the movie?
Right, exactly. And the one character has to rattle them all off and be like, yeah, that snail's dead? That bat's dead? Yeah. I'm like, oh, I remember those characters kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all dead. All right.
So they exist so that the bat could fly to a secret meeting and listen in on Black Pai Mei. He looks like Pai Mei from Kill Bill, but a black version. He also looks like one of the Klingons from like the Star Trek movies.
Oh, you could drop him in any sci-fi fantasy movie and he'd fit right in.
Kurtwood Smith. He's played a million Star Trek characters. But what was it? Star Trek 6, he was like the head of the Federation.
All right.
He looks like that guy. Yeah. Just a black version.
This guy looks great. I mean, it's like, it's elevated in the way like nobody else looks like this.
Yeah.
And I understand like, oh, there's all these different creatures from different parts of the land. I get it.
Yeah.
But he's like super cool looking.
Yeah.
Like, I would want to watch this guy go on an adventure.
So yeah, he's having a meeting. And again, those characters we met previously, it's just so the one with the back can spy on the meeting.
Yes.
So that Bastion reading the book will know how this... It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot of cool fairy tale creatures.
Like, this is a book. Like, we could just go there.
Yeah, we
don't
just go
need
there.
to follow a character there.
The narrator can let us know what's happening. There's a lot of cool fairy tale creatures here. And if any of you sons of bitches say I look like the big head guys, I'm gonna kill you. There's this new thing now that Dick Masterson has started and Vito that I apparently have a big head, and you're my good friend, and you're gonna tell them that I don't have a big head, right?
Wait, Dick Masterson is saying that you have a big head.
He has a tiny face. His tiny face is
like that Dick Tracy character.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I don't know.
If we were Dick Tracy characters, we'd be big head and little face.
Your head is proportionate to your body.
Thank you so much. I've asked 2 other people on the show recently, and they danced around it, those assholes. So thank you for being a bro. Anyway.
I know. I mean, I'm getting paid for this, right?
Yes.
Okay. And my appearances before this, I
no
believe we had a. Oh, all right. Yeah, you have a giant head.
Fuck you. Okay. I was watching and I see the 2 big head guys and I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, it's literally the Seinfeld episode. It's all I can think about now. I was like, is my head so big?
You shouldn't have said it. Now you're telling people to Photoshop your head into this.
I didn't say to Photoshop it. You just said it.
All right.
Don't fucking Photoshop my head into the NeverEnding Story.
Folks, you should Photoshop Tony's head into the NeverEnding Story. And I think you know what part and what characters.
Hello, Tony.
Oh, hi.
Oh my God, look at the head. Jesus
oh, you
Christ.
son of a bitch.
Zoom
Fuck you,
out.
Dick.
Zoom
Fuck you,
out.
Dick.
Oh my God.
My head is a normal size. I have a normal size.
This is what it looks like crashing
He's got
into
a normal
the sun.
size head.
Look at the
It's
size
a small
of his
body.
fucking head. It
My
never
head
goes
is normal.
away.
My head is normal. I don't like this libel and slander coming from you that I have a giant head.
Jesus Christ.
It's a normal size head.
Give him another panel. Give him another panel on the Brady Bunch thing so he can fit his whole head in.
Anyway, so Black Pai Mei is like, the nothing is spreading, but we have a plan. The Empress is dying, and they're like, oh, well, that's a shitty plan. They're like, don't worry. If we get a cure for her sickness, then it'll be okay. And only Atreyu, who is apparently a person who exists, can get it. And wouldn't you just happen to know it? Atreyu's there.
But they don't know that that's Atreyu. Because he's like, this is not a job for a child.
Yeah, we meant the man Atreyu. Well, first off, what, a lady can't get it done, Black Pai Mei? Jesus. Second, it's just like...
There appears to be one woman in this planet. Oh, and 2.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, there is a second woman.
Yes.
She's not very helpful. And I like that Atreyu shows up. Before he shows up, Bastion's like, I guess the book doesn't describe what Atreyu looks like. So then Bastion just looks at a picture of a Native American, and then I guess he's like, that's what Atreyu will look like. And then Atreyu looks nothing like that Native American. He looks like a different Native American.
I'm like, who did you hear? Like, who told you about Atreyu? Someone who gave you no physical description or gave you an age of this person.
I like when I'm reading a book and they're like, Phil showed up, and I'm like, what's he look like? What's his deal?
And in the book, they're like, well, nobody knew what Phil looked like, so they're confused as to why Phil looks
Whatever
like
you're
that.
picturing in your head right now is what Phil looks like. Imagine it for the rest of the book. It's like, oh, okay.
Imagine someone roughly your age, and that is the main character.
Yeah, the book probably said, hey, Bastion, a cooler version of you.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, it is weird that Bastion isn't playing Atreyu. It is like a different actor. I feel like any
That's
other movie.
so bizarre. Yeah.
Any other movie, he would like insert himself. In
Exactly.
It, right?
Yeah. But they were like, the director, I assume Wolfgang,
Yeah.
because he's the director, was like, I don't know, we can't make it look like Atreyu gets thrown into dumpsters. And there's no way to make this kid look cool.
Atreyu needs to go out and find the cure, but he has to do it alone. And that's when I was like, oh, I guess the snail's not helping.
No.
and without weapons?
I don't know. He meets characters, but nobody really seems to be much help to him at all.
But like,
and you can't take weapons.
Yes.
Because weapons will ruin stuff, I guess.
Weapons will be beneficial, I guess. I don't know. But he could take the Orn, which is the snake medallion that is on the NeverEnding Story book.
And also, what is he tasked with doing? Does he know what he's
That's the weird thing. They're
doing?
like, we have to find a cure for the Empress. It's like, what is that?
Yes. No one tells him where to go?
Yeah, no one did. They literally are like, have fun. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go here or I'll go there.
And you said that you thought there were more scenes involving more characters. I was shocked at this point when the adventure starts, when the journey begins. I was like, we're more than a half hour into this hour and 40-minute long movie. There can't be that much more. And most of this is just him wandering around for.
There are a lot of establishing shots and shots of music playing and no dialogue. They're really padding it out there. And then here we find out there's a bad guy. I'm sure he has a name. I didn't write it down. He's a wolf.
Oh, his name's like Grum or something. It's
Grum. No, it's Grum now. Fuck it, it's Grum.
Because Atreyu, even near the end, he's like, "I'm gonna kill you, Grum," and I'm like, can we take two on that character's name? It sounds impossible to say.
No, it's Grum. For the rest of this episode, it's Grum. I don't give a shit what his real name is.
It's close, actually.
So Atreyu can't find the cure anywhere. And it doesn't help that he has to look inside the Swamp of Sadness.
This movie is the Swamp of Sadness.
Yes.
That's what it should have been called.
It should have been called the Swamp of Sadness. So he's in the Swamp of Sadness looking for an old lady who will tell him where the cure is. Here's another thing that I assumed wrong.
Yeah.
This next scene is very famous.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows the scene.
Yes.
I love people make little gardening decorations of it.
Exactly.
So if you let the sadness get you, the swamp will eat you. And I guess this horse was having a bad day. I don't get it. The horse was very sad.
That's what I don't understand about this is why did it eat the horse and not the crying child?
I don't know.
Fight against the sadness, Artex!
But also, it's kind of weird with like horses have dumb faces. I said this years ago. I saw the movie War Horse, the Steven Spielberg movie.
Okay,
it's an okay movie.
Yeah, you can try and convince me that was a movie. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a movie. He had two movies out at once: The Adventures of Tintin and War Horse. I saw both in the same day. But War Horse, it's like the horse is a character and it's trying to be emotional, but it's like you don't really get a lot of expression out of a dumb horse face, unless you're being cartoony, and it's like
there's nothing there and they're too big, and
so they're like the sadness is getting you, and I'm like, is it? It just looks like a horse to me.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
I assume it's that guy that sent him on the mission that was like, motherfucker, I told him not to take anything with him. Now I have to kill this horse.
The horse counted as not being alone. So yeah, I'm thinking about the horse and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, there was probably like 5 scenes with the horse before that showing like how good of friends they are. And now, like, I guess as a kid, it's just sad because an animal's dying.
Right.
But as an adult, I'm just like, I didn't even know the horse had a name until a minute ago. You expect me to cry over this shit?
Barely even knew there was a horse in this movie.
I'm like, was the horse a character we were supposed to care about?
And I love it how now, thinking about it, I guess I'm just supposed to care because this main character is, as you said, a horse girl.
Yeah.
And I guess he's devastated, so we're also supposed to be devastated.
Yes, I guess so. But like adult bitter Tony is just like, oh, horse died.
Right.
Yeah. And what doesn't help is I ended up finishing that show, Shogun.
Oh, okay.
Ended up being really good. Last episode made a lot of weird choices.
Okay.
But there's literally an episode where like 5 horses get blown apart with cannons, and I felt nothing then.
No.
So when I'm watching this, I'm like, whatever.
Right.
Horse had it easy, if you ask me.
I will say, in defense of this scene and its impact on people, when you're a kid, you don't watch movies where animals die.
Yes.
Like, that's a thing that you are shielded from. You're not watching Cannibal Holocaust as a child. So this was
as a teenager, maybe,
right.
but yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I understand why so many people were bothered by this.
It's
but
just
also
it helps if like the horse did something.
Yes.
Like, look, the only time I ever got sad at a horse death It was in a video game, and I know video games are for children. I was testing the game to make sure it was good for kids. Shadow of the Colossus. Did you ever play that?
No, I don't even know what that is.
It's a great game. It's probably one of the best video games.
But horses die in it?
Well, no, you have a horse for the entire game.
Oh, okay.
And it's like your loyal companion. The whole game is just 16 boss fights, but you got to figure out strategic ways to kill the boss. It's very fun. But the horse is part of a lot of the boss fights. It gets you to the location. Right. You got to do cool stuff with it. So by the end of the game, you're really invested in this horse. And spoilers for this game. Right before the final boss, there's a part where you have to go over a bridge, and the bridge collapses. Oh. And your fucking horse falls into like the river below.
All right.
It's still to this day, I'm just like, oh my God, my horse died. I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, Tony, it's a fucking video game. Like, but I wasn't prepared for this loss. This thing has been with me this whole time. Spoiler.
I thought you were going to say you as the character had to eat the horse because there was no food or something. Okay.
But it is a big moment. Like anyone who's played that game gets super invested and they're not ready for the horse death. Right. And then you have to fight like the hardest boss without it.
But you're right, because there's been no real conflict up until this point in the movie.
Not really.
Like if the horse saved Atreyu's life in a couple scenes before, that would be great.
And for me, I'm just like, well, it's time to get another horse. Hope you find it.
You can move through this swamp faster without dragging
the horses died in Gladiator. I wasn't like, oh no. It's like, he better find another fucking horse.
Yeah.
Anyway, the horse dies. It's very sad. I'm sure everyone in the chat's like, you two assholes. It's like, this traumatized me.
No, I hear it a lot, and I get it to a certain degree. But again, if you're not a child, this really shouldn't affect you.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to get over this.
You'd be like that horse should be shaking or something. Right. So Atreyu meets the Ancient One, who is a giant turtle. Mm-hmm. It was a pretty good effect. I will give him that.
Yeah.
Pretty good
green
green screen
blood
there.
snot all over the place.
Yeah, I like that
it's also allergic to humans?
Yes. And they do the comedy of threes. They does the sneeze 3 times.
Sure.
That was pretty good. But they're so long. They're they them, by the way. Yep. That's not even a joke. They're literally calling themselves we because I guess they've been alone for so long that they've developed split personalities.
They now just talk to themselves.
Gollum. Yeah. They're basically Gollum.
Right.
I'm guessing the guy who wrote this book really liked Lord of the Rings.
Well, that kid brings it up in the bookstore. He's like, I read Lord of the Rings and Hop on Pop. And I'm like, well, that's not equivalent.
Two very compatible books. No, but I'm just thinking like, I don't know, if I'm kind of ripping off an element of Lord of the Rings, I probably wouldn't name drop Lord of the Rings.
No, right.
So yeah, this is very old.
He was like, I'm covered now. I got it all out of the way at the beginning.
So they don't care about anything. They're like, we don't care about the nothing.
Right.
This doesn't affect us, or if it does, we will accept it.
Exactly. I love it when the turtle's like, you know what, death actually sounds pretty good because it would actually be something.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to.
I wonder if actual turtles
demise.
and tortoises feel like this. For some reason, like turtles and tortoises live forever.
Yeah. Folks, don't go out and just start murdering turtles because you think it's what they want.
You know what? It's really unfair what life forms on Earth get to live for hundreds of years. Like lobsters, it's like, I could do so much more than a lobster if I lived 400 years. Are you kidding me?
And it took me until there was a movie called Lobster to learn that fact. Actually, I had no idea they lived
tortoises are like, yes, what's coming up in 200 years? I'm like, why? What are you doing?
You don't know what's going on in there.
They literally just fuck, and they make weird squealing sounds, and that's it. Like, come on.
You just described humans.
Well, we make spaceships and shit. Like, not cool ones yet, but, we're getting there.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Not cool. What are you talking about?
I mean, you've seen Star Trek, and then you look at like a regular rocket. It's like, whatever.
So that's a benefit that humans haven't yet made what's in Star Trek? But
no. I want humans to live longer so they can make cooler stuff eventually.
Right. Okay.
All our smart people die like within like 80, 90 years. The turtles are fucking...
totally... If the nothing takes this planet, I'm fine with it, actually. It's okay.
So anyway, that's my shitting on turtles talk.
Does this turtle give him any important information?
It tells him he needs to go to a place where the cure is.
Oh my God. Also, what's the timetable on this?
I don't know. I guess
in just a little while, we hear that he's been out for like days.
Yeah, he's got to travel 1,000 miles somewhere.
My God.
And then Bastion takes a break from reading the scene. And then the taxidermy wolf head that for some reason is in the attic of the school falls
And it's
down.
on like a pike, too.
That was the weird part.
What?
You know, I could see maybe it was like, oh, we used to have this in the science class, but it scared people, so we put it in the attic. But it's on a pike. And I'm like, why did you have a wolf head on a pike? That's horrifying.
I don't know. There's a skeleton. The skeleton kind of makes sense. You can use that in science class. I don't know. I want to know what science class in elementary school they're bringing a wolf's head in, and I don't know, just putting it on the table.
Yeah,
apparently this is what a wolf's head looks like.
So then
I thought it was maybe from a play. Like I was giving it at least that much that there may be some costumes sitting up there.
Yeah, but no, it's a legit taxidermied wolf head. Yeah.
Yes.
So wolf guy Grum is coming for Atreyu.
Yeah.
But luckily, Falcor grabs him. Falcor is a character now. He just happened to know Atreyu was there. And how does he know that? It's because he's a luck dragon, and he's got to be lucky.
So, can we, for people that, I mean, you can even look at that picture of him and still not really know what that thing is. It's got a dog's head.
Yes.
On a body, like a long, thin body.
Mm-hmm. I think it's supposed to look like...
Does it have scales?
It had like crystally scales.
Sparkly scales.
Yeah, and like
on there it looks like it only has 2 front paws,
but it has like
4.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to look like a dragon, but like one of those like maybe like Chinese or Japanese, like an Asian kind of dragon that looks more dog-like.
Like you said, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
When it's not flying. When
it's flying, it looks like shit.
That green screen, it is atrocious green screen work through this movie.
As good as the turtle thing was, the flying stuff is not good. But that's a problem with a lot of 80s and 90s. Chemical compositing, I've talked about it multiple times.
I know, and I can forgive some of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, apparently it had the, hold on. The technical tinkerers and magicians with credits including 2001: A Space Odyssey, Alien, and Empire Strikes Back.
I mean, I will say that maybe watching this on VHS isn't the worst idea.
It covers it up and up, but I watch enough of these movies to know that's going to look bad.
Because you can see the green through the fur when you're watching this, and it's very distracting.
That was the compromise you had to do back then. You either got the thick black line, like in old Star Wars, or you got the see-through. Like you had to pick one or the other. So yeah, I
love that was maybe a checkbox on some sort of form, and Wolfgang's like, I don't know, I need the fur.
It was good with the space stuff with Star Wars, but like the Hoth battle, like if you watch the old version where they fix it up, it's like those thick black lines on those guys. So yeah, Falcor's laugh and smile make me uncomfortable.
I mean, no.
I like children.
His voice makes me uncomfortable.
I think his voice is the same voice as Grum.
It's
funny that the same guy is doing.
I think you're right. Actually, it's the same guy. Yeah.
So I like that's like a benevolent one and like an evil one. But he introduces him to, I don't know, some dwarves who are doctors.
Okay. When you say introduces him, suddenly Atreyu wakes up in A Princess Bride, but instead of the delightful Carol Kane, and what's his name?
I'm blanking on his name.
Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
You get these 2 nothings that are...
Oh, you didn't like Science Guy and Doctor Lady?
Are they like little goblins or something? What
I
are
wrote
these?
dwarves, but it's kind of hard. It's hard to get a read on them. But they're investigating the Southern Oracle. This is now a new plot element introduced into the film.
Yep. Nobody prepared this kid for this. I had no idea there'd be like huge tits in this movie.
Yeah. So the Southern Oracle, we learn is, I guess it lies beyond this gate of these 2 statues.
Sphinxes.
Big titties. I think they just said Sphinx.
Just Sphinx. Okay.
That are gold. I do like the effects here too, like the little person with them.
It looks pretty good.
Well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the guy's like, I've been studying the Southern Oracle, but he's never personally went. And it's like, I don't know what lies beyond the second step. There's a lot of people who try. It's like, oh, look, there just happens to be a guy going there now. Like, so I guess people go to this regularly.
What's he doing? What is this guy trying to cure the princess, or is he just like out for a ride?
I guess you could just go there and ask the Southern Oracle anything. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. But he goes there.
Also, you have a flying dragon. Like, you don't even need to do this.
Can I fly over it?
Yes.
But we find out that there's lasers. Because you have to be fearless, I guess.
Cool. I have to say, I think this is the best sequence in the movie.
Yeah.
I love seeing this guy in armor just get rocked by this stuff. You see his like dead, like his withered face or his skull. Later on.
I
That's
didn't
cool.
expect for the kids movie for the thing to open up and we see him actually dissolved.
Yeah.
So Atreyu sees that, and if I was there, I would have been like, "Hey, Falcor, let's go. Let's get out of here." But
Or maybe I could just walk around them.
Yeah.
I don't...
Does Atreyu does he like the Empress? Does she know what she looks like? Because I would not be doing this for a girl I never met. I'm sorry.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't appear to know why he's there.
He did just kind of tell
He knows as little about this as people know about what he looks like.
So Atreyu makes it past the first gate. I guess he's very brave, but now he has to confront his true self.
Well, wait a second. I don't want to fly by this because they do almost laser him. It's not like he is just he's such the hero. He's such the chosen one that he goes through. Because about halfway in, it's almost like we watch this kid like slowly shit his pants, knowing that he could get lasered, and their eyes slowly open.
Yeah.
And they laser. He has to dive through at the end. It's pretty great. Yeah. But even the old guy's like, wow, that's really great that he did that. But he's totally fucked when he has to meet his true self.
Because he has to face his true self, which is apparently Bastion.
Yep.
This is when the fourth wall breaking starts happening. Which I guess is a lot of people's introduction to like fourth wall breaks.
Oh yeah,
that element of the movie is pretty cool. How like it starts interfering with the real world.
It is, and this I don't think anybody is doing a particular great job in this movie, but this is where they ask this child in the haunted attic to emote.
Yeah,
and it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. He's doing the best he can. I've seen worse.
Yeah.
And now Atreyu is faced with the Southern Oracle, which are blue versions of the statues we've already seen.
Right.
I would have.
Did you run out of ideas? Did you run out of money? Like, why?
I don't know. I would have done something different. Was the Muppet budget?
I don't know, because meeting oneself was so underwhelming that I was ready for something else that's big or different. Just
they
give
went.
me
They went. Look,
else.
we can make you. Look, you can either have a Southern Oracle or a snail. And then they went, Wolfgang, I'd advise you to do the Southern Oracle because the snail is not in the script much. And he went, I need that snail. I need that snail. Yeah. We'll just reuse the statues and say that's the Oracle.
Give me something. Just give me like an Old West gunfighter or something. That's totally fine. They just trick into, I don't know, stealing his gun and I guess shooting him.
Yeah. They should have went to the what is it, the burning bush with the invisible man.
You want to save money? Have an invisible man that he accidentally shoots.
That's from Three Amigos. I haven't watched Three Amigos in many years. Does it hold up? Have you seen it?
It's still pretty great.
Okay, good. I got that. I'm excited for it.
It's better than the NeverEnding Story.
So we learn what could save the Empress is a new name. But no one in Fantasia can name her. It has to be a human from the real world. And it's obviously Bastion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is being said to the most human person I've seen on this planet.
Only a human can do it, Atreyu. And he's like, it's just like,
I just want him to like brush back his hair and be like, oh my God, he has pointy ears. He's not a human.
I don't know. I don't think you can make a movie today where the Native American is being referred to as not a human. I feel like if they remake NeverEnding Story, they're gonna have to do some rewrites on it.
Exactly.
So he's like, yeah, you have to go to the boundary and find this boy. So he goes, all right, Falcor, let's fly as fast as we can to the boundary. And Falcor's like, don't know where it is, but I'm lucky. Let's go.
Yeah. And I assume Falcor's like, oh yeah, those tests that I also had to go through to get here, they were pretty tough. But I'm fine as well.
Because he's a luck dragon. He's like, they didn't shoot a single laser. And he's like, I met my true self. We got along. We're hanging out next week.
I would like it if he met his true self and it was just a sock puppet.
Or it's like 5 puppeteers. I'm 5 guys.
Just sitting around having a coffee break.
So then Bastian spoils the end of the movie, and he goes, "Gee, I wish I could name the princess. My mom had a good name." And it's like, well, I guess you've projected it too much now. It's not even like it was like a little thing, and you go, "Oh, that's why he did that." It's like, well, that's the end of the movie. Got it.
So does this book? I mean, I don't know if we should wait until the end. Like, what's the purpose of this particular book? Does this book change based on who's reading it?
I guess so.
Okay.
I guess so.
I just didn't know what I'm meant to believe this
Also,
kid is actually reading.
How often do you, this isn't a real book, obviously, but how often do you read a book and you're just like, blah, 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 and then you just go to like a window and you're like, wow, I could have helped that character if I was in the book, and then you just go right back to the book.
No.
He seems to be doing it a lot.
He does it a lot.
Yeah.
I assume that he does this at home. His dad clearly has no interest in what he's reading or anything that's going on with
He
this
saw
kid.
The Last Unicorn. He's like, I don't give a shit.
He's bullied at school. This kid is so used to talking to himself. That's the one thing I buy in this movie. Like I said, he's a sad kid trying to connect to other sad kids out there watching this.
I guess.
And kids are like, I get picked on at school. My mom died. I like books.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know which one to relate. I guess I got picked on a little bit.
Horses are okay. I mean,
I got picked
guess.
on the older I got, and then I became the picker. And I did a pretty good job.
Is it because you got big?
No, it's because I got bullied, and I was like, oh, I'll do it too.
You learned from the bullies.
I was sometimes your bullies were bullied themselves, and I am the example of that. I became a bully after being bullied. And then I decided it wasn't for me.
I'm always surprised, and not to get into my personal life too much, I'm always shocked that I wasn't bullied. Like, I was a perfect target. I weighed like 9. I looked like I was 12 when I was a senior in high school. I weighed like 90 pounds.
You surrounded yourself with weaker targets.
I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I avoided it. I should have been thrown in a dumpster. Never once. Never once.
You're like, I transferred to a school and they said that kid pees himself and cries a lot. Like, I'm going to be friends with that kid so they go after him and not me.
That's right. Kid with the wonky eye, you're with me, man.
They're flying toward the boundary. Atreyu falls because they fly into the nothing.
Yeah.
Which is just black smoke.
It's a lot of wind.
How do you visualize nothing? It's kind of hard. It's the black void, I guess.
The physics of any of this make no sense.
It would be a black void, but at the same time, a black void isn't exciting. So black smoke is what they came up with.
Right,
It's
yes.
storm clouds. So Falcor and Bastian, Falcor and Atreyu get separated.
Right.
Atreyu lands on a beach.
Yep.
And then he meets the rock biter. And this scene is sad, but it would have been sadder if we saw any kind of relationship between these characters.
It's the same with the horse.
Yeah.
I mean, at least we watched the horse die. So we get to see that happen and have a visceral reaction to it.
Yeah.
This, as we said earlier, is just, remember those people you met? Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah, but I kind of like the rock biter being like, these are strong hands,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He's like, I tried to hold them. They look like he's clearly like devastated. I'm like, if they had just one more scene with those characters showing how good of friends they became.
Yes.
Because now he's mourning the loss of like these people. It's like, you met them yesterday. Like, I know it's sad,
I don't know, but who knows what adventure they had? Like, the rock biter really went through something.
Yeah.
And I would have rather watched that.
Yeah, maybe that's a sidequel, and maybe they show it in NeverEnding Story too.
That would be great.
Yeah, sidequel. Like, was it the Bourne's Legacy was technically like a sidequel to the Bourne Ultimatum.
I didn't know.
The first 3 are good.
I watched the first one. It was fine.
You watched 2 and 3. 2 and 3.
No, I'm good.
Oh, fuck you. I still haven't seen the last official one. I saw the spinoff of Jeremy Renner, and I did the same thing you did. I went, I'm good.
Yeah.
That third one felt like an ending. I think we're good here.
Most of the time I see Jeremy Renner, I'm like, I'm good. It's fine.
Although
I'm glad he's okay, though.
The Jason Bourne experience in Universal Studios spoiled the 4th one for me. I guess Julia Stiles died in it, but I guess she was
Julia Stiles in the first one?
Yeah, she's in all of them.
Don't remember.
So I guess she died in that movie, but for the Jason Bourne experience, that was the only actor they could get. So she's like, I had to fake my death, and then they show the image of her dying in the last movie. I'm like, oh, I guess she died.
Wow.
But now I guess when I watch that movie in the back of my head, I'm like, no, she's not dead. She's talking to a room full of people about to go into.
That's terrible. Come on.
They really expected people to see the
You
fourth.
can't find another actor in Hollywood?
We couldn't get fucking Jason Bourne. Anyway, it's a fun stunt show. It's where Terminator used to be. Okay, so the Rockbiter is like just totally given up. He's like, well, I'm going to die now.
Yeah, he's like, nothing could come and get me. That's all right.
Yes. And then Atreyu walks into like this
Like
building.
a cave?
Yeah. That
It's
has
like a cave, but a dilapidated
Yes.
building.
It reminds me in DC Comics, there's a place called, I think it's called, oh, fuck. God damn it. There's a place that exists outside of time, and it looks like crumbled up castles in a void, and it reminds me of this. I don't know which one came first. I'm losing my nerd cred. I forgot the name of that place.
Let's call it Hammer Horror
I
Set.
want to say Endpoint, maybe?
Okay, I don't know. Don't look to me for validation.
Doug, what is it?
I don't know this.
Is
nerd
it
shit.
Endpoint?
That sounds right.
It sounds
That
right.
does sound right, actually.
You know what? I'm not going to look it up, so all the comments will let me know what it was.
The point where all of the nice housing ended is the end point, and it's just broken down.
So yeah, he's going through this like dilapidated castle, and it's paintings of all of his adventures.
Yes.
And then he sees the wolf, and then he looks over, and there's good old Grum Grum.
Well, when I saw this, I was like, "Oh, is this an illustrated book? Like, have these been illustrations?" But we never see the book, so I have no idea.
So Grum Grum's there.
Yeah.
And he's just like, it's me. I've been hunting you.
Horrible puppet. I
Yeah,
have to
not
say,
good.
the mouth barely moves.
For as good as Falcor and the
Yes.
turtle were, following up with this thing, it was like, oof.
He's hiding inside a hole so you can only see his head, almost like that wolf, just so
Yeah.
we can hide the rest of the body.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
So he works for the power behind the nothing.
yes.
And he wants to use
It's
the
like George Costanza's the assistant to the traveling secretary. And I was like, wow. Well, you're like eighth on that totem pole.
So he wants to, because Fantasia exists on human imagination, but humans are losing their imagination because of video games or something.
Yeah, arcades.
That is a very
That'll do
80s
it.
thing. They're like, books are the real imagination. It's like, yeah, but movies and stuff, they're also storytelling. Like,
There's a lot of ways that you can.
look, I know there's not a lot of story in Pong, but Super Mario Brothers has a story with characters. Not a very good one. It's a video game, but still.
Yeah. I don't see how, and this might just be me being an idiot. I don't see how books are going to help your imagination, and then other forms of entertainment are going to destroy your imagination.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that they do that.
It's just so stupid. Like, it's really dumb. And it, again, it's just like, kid, listen, I know you're sad because your parents won't buy you Nintendo, but, you know, just think how better your imagination's going to be than your friends.
You read a book.
Right, exactly. I know you don't have any friends.
And
so-
it's never like, hey, write a book, create your own thing. It's like, no, read something else from 100 years ago. It's like,
yes,
okay.
read this and imagine what it's like, and that's you using your imagination. No, it's you interpreting what a
Yes.
writer wants you to see.
We should really remake the NeverEnding Story and make it like to defeat the purpose of it.
It would just be that he walks into the arcade,
Yeah,
and there's an old man that's like, now everything's on the internet, and nobody comes in here anymore, and then it would be a video game adventure. I'd kind of like that.
No, but the ending is just like, imagination sucks. You got to live in the real world, kid.
Yeah, well, that is how this movie ends. This
I
movie
know.
ends with, and eventually, I guess this kid fucking grew up. All right.
So, yeah, so he's working for the power because then there will be fear and he can control people through fear.
You killed everybody. Who are you controlling through
The
fear?
people in the
You
real world, I
destro-
guess. Because he's
Come
taken
on.
their imagination and now he can control them. It's
Is this a Matrix movie?
It really, and honestly, oh my God, it does feel like the fucking, what's the guy's name in the Matrix? The dude in the white room.
Oh, I don't know.
You know what I'm talking-
I know
Matrix
what you're talking
Reloaded,
about.
yeah.
Yep.
Where it's like, okay, I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. He doesn't have a choice. I get it.
Yeah.
That's what this felt like, where they're like talking in circles.
Right.
And Atreyu's just like, I'm sorry. Are you the bad guy? Yeah. I need to know. Am I about to stab you? What are we doing here?
And this is made for children, so okay.
Yeah.
You can do this.
Yeah.
Or even if it's made for adults, like you could do it in a fun way, like They Live. Like
it's
really a movie made for the slow Joes in the back who don't get it. Like everything, money. Wait, what? But still, that's fun. This is just so boring. Like I said, you have to explain things to kids, but do it in a way that is visually interesting.
Yeah.
This is just him talking to a puppet wolf head.
Yes, in a hole.
Like, this is horrible.
But okay, so Grum.
Yeah.
His whole mission is built around killing this kid. He's worked really hard on it. He's got a lot riding on this. His plan is to just jump at him.
Also, this Grum is a gun for hire. He's an assassin. Yeah. Can you imagine saying that you need to kill this person and then giving them no picture of this person at all? Because Grum's talking to this kid and he's like, I got to kill this fucking Atreyu guy. And he's like, wait, I'm Atreyu. He's like, holy shit. What are the chances?
This is
like,
working out
just
well
like
for
anybody else. Atreyu must have been off the grid, laying so low. Nobody knows it. I mean, he's just built up to be this badass, but nobody knows what he looks like.
But
also, like, I think he just panicked at that moment. Like, it's like, oh my God, you're right here. I'll just jump at you.
I'm going to jump. And it's just like, why don't you, like, swipe at him or run around him, like, try to catch him off guard? You're a wolf. Do you not have a pack? Like,
we already said they ran out of money. And I assume this was shot in sequential order.
I just love that his plan is, I'm just going to jump like this with my whole torso exposed. I know he has a knife and I'm not wearing armor.
You gotta expose those vital organs.
It's gonna work out well for me. Oh no, I'm dead.
Quick question. Perhaps because I was doing dishes and wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
Where did he get that knife?
He picked it up. It was like on the ground.
It was just laying there?
Yeah, I don't even know if it was really a knife. I think it was like a broken piece of rock that was shaped like a knife. Yeah, he picked it up. But yeah, so he kills him. Then like Fantasia dies, but Falkor finds the Orin and saves Atreyu, and they're in space. And then they go, well, I hope the White Tower still exists. And what do you know? An asteroid moves out of the way. They're like, oh, thank God, the White Tower still exists.
Even the narrator who occasionally comes into this movie, and I forget there was a narrator, is like, yeah, then the nothing blew up stuff, except for a few bits of this planet.
Yeah, except for a few bits.
It's not all gone.
So yeah, Atreyu says, what's up to the Empress? And she lets him know that Atreyu, without knowing, brought Bastion's essence, I guess, into Fantasia. And he's like, I didn't bring anyone.
Yeah, I was told not to bring anyone.
Yeah. And like Bastion's having trouble. I guess that would freak you out if the book is like, and you, Doug, are the hero.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Again, I do buy this kid freaking out sometimes, and this is one of those moments where I think he's doing a pretty good job.
Also, they had candles up in that attic, apparently.
Just wood and cobwebs everywhere.
And candles.
And I guess this kid just walks around with matches in his pocket.
Apparently. He has to give her a name. Yeah. And everything starts crumbling, and she's begging, Bastion, please give me a name, give me a name. And then he finds the courage to do it. The wind's blowing around. He screams in the window, and he says something.
He says his mother's name. We never hear it. It's not Martha or something like that.
I had to look it up.
Oh.
Because in the film, all you hear is,
yeah.
Apparently it's Moonchild.
Okay.
Was his mom a hippie?
I don't know.
That dad looked a little too or was he like really into the hippie scene and he had to grow up pretty quick? Is he one of those? He seems like he might have been a former hippie.
I assume this was a accident where it was like, well, now we got to get married. We're having this kid.
The 70s were fun.
And she was like, hey, let's just call him Bastion. He's like, that's fucking stupid. Let's call him Sebastian.
No, Moonchild. We're not naming our fucking kid Bastion.
I did go to school with a girl named Starlight, and her sister's name was Moonbeam.
I knew a guy named Star, and I thought he was joking.
Oh, that was his actual name?
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty great.
Yeah, so the name is apparently Moonchild from what I read. Unfortunately, they don't have subtitles on VHS, so I couldn't confirm.
Do you think Wolfgang was like, that's fucking stupid, man? We can't put that in here?
It's like The Exorcist. The demon's name is Pazuzu, but they were smart for that first movie to be like, let's just say it's the devil.
Yes.
And then the other movies were like, hey, it's old Pazuzu.
Yep.
Like, oh, no.
Well, listen, if you're going to be smart, maybe Captain Howdy isn't the best idea either. So,
Well, that works because it was trying to trick her.
I know, it's a kid.
The second movie is where they're like, Pazuzu.
Yeah. I do appreciate that we didn't hear his mom's name, especially now knowing what it is.
Again, let me know if I'm wrong. This is what I Googled. It said Moonchild. Maybe that's like something from the book. Maybe the movie was obscuring it to leave it to your imagination, but maybe it is Moonchild in the book. I don't know.
I assume that's where that came from. I don't think anybody. I think it's a choice that you don't hear it.
Yes, probably. It's like the whispering at the end of
I
Lost in Translation.
I had the subtitles on. I never saw that name.
So the Empress and Fantasia and Bastion are sad that Fantasia's gone, but she tells him that he can imagine a new one.
So, okay. So him giving her a name saved her,
Yes.
but nothing else.
Well,
I mean-
I guess what we're supposed to believe here. And she was talking about the NeverEnding Story. She's like, we're part of the NeverEnding Story. He's reading our story and people are watching his story. And I'm assuming that means the people in the theater are doing their dishes on their phone. We're part of this NeverEnding Story. Who's watching us, Doug?
Nobody. Nobody's watching.
No, the people in the chat. They're watching us. Who's watching them?
I don't like this. I don't like where this is going.
I guess the idea is like, you're so sad about your mom dying and you were going to let the sadness and nothing take over and lose your sense of imagination. But through this book, you're able to cope with your mother's loss and maybe imagination will.
All right.
Look, I'm doing the heavy lifting here.
I'm okay with that, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I'm not really buying it either. This is what happens when you only adapt part of a book. It doesn't really feel like it's complete.
My issue with this is that the movie almost posits that everything changed, but also nothing actually changed.
Well,
at the end of this.
Well, you know what did change? Everyone came back to life.
Because he wished.
Yes.
I love it when she's like, you just have to wish for stuff. He's like, how many do I get? She's like, I don't fucking know. All the wishes you want.
She's like,
dude.
Bastion, I'm not a genie.
Do
whatever. Go ahead.
Whatever you want. Unlimited wishes. You don't even have to wish for that. You have it. I'm like, well, then what does any of this matter?
So yeah, he brings back Atreyu and the stupid horse. He brings back the rock biter. Everyone's back. He doesn't bring back Crumb Crumb. He's like, I'm gonna let that fucking guy.
He doesn't bring
sit in
back his
oblivion.
mother either, but I guess he can only bring back fictitious creatures.
I guess so.
God.
He also doesn't bring the book back to the store, I think.
No.
So now Bastion is on Falcor in the real world.
It's his first wish. His
And-
first wish is to get and ride that stupid puppet.
And commit an act of terror, flying an unregistered vehicle through airspace.
Yeah.
With the purpose of threatening citizens.
I think at the end of this movie, he may have inadvertently killed one of the bullies.
Probably.
3 go into that dumpster, 2 of them pop their heads up at the end.
And then the movie just ends. There's not really like...
It ends with the narrator saying, and this kid wished a bunch of wishes until he went back to the real world. I'm like, what lesson am I supposed to learn?
Again, there's no resolution really with the dad.
No.
He
was apparently in that school attic all night. I don't know. His dad was probably like, oh my God, I got rid of him too. He may have murdered his wife.
Yeah, we never learned about the book guy, why he put this plot in motion. I have to watch the second one now, and I really don't want to, but I really need to know if it does get wrapped up.
There's a Wikipedia entry. You don't have to watch it.
No, I'm going to watch it.
All right.
I'm going to put myself through it, okay? I'm going to watch all of the animated series.
If you got a stack of dishes to do, I could think of no better way to spend your time.
I do vaguely remember, I think the rock biter gets a kid at some point, and there's a baby
rock. No.
Baby rock
That's
biter.
no.
I think
You're
that's
just kidding, right?
Why would it be in my head if it didn't exist? Maybe it is a false memory, but for some reason, because I did see the other ones, not enough to remember them.
He has a baby. How does that work?
I think he has a baby rock biter.
Yeah, darling, gonna make it happen. Take the road and the love embrace.
If there's a hardcore rock on rock sex scene, I might watch the second one, actually.
I know the cartoon aired on HBO, but it was during their children's block, so I don't think there's...
Oh, you're saying, okay, this is not the NeverEnding Story 2, which may be rated NC-17.
The baby does show up in one of the live action movies, but I don't think it's conception.
I don't like this. I don't want to watch any of this.
I'll look up the expanded lore. I'll look up rock biter, the sexual preferences of rock biters. So yeah, the movie just kind of fizzles out and dies at the end. I
assume we get the theme song again. So it goes out on a mid note.
Yeah. All right. So where are you landing on NeverEnding Story?
I will never be upset with somebody for liking a movie. Yeah. This is not my thing. Yeah. Like I said, I had no emotional connection to it as a kid. Yeah. I watched it one time as a kid and never wanted to watch it again.
Yeah.
It's not even the best one of these types of movies of this era. We rattled off 2 or 3 or 4 others that are so much better than this.
Labyrinth is pretty good. Yeah. Dark Crystal. Yes. Those are pretty good. I don't know. I still enjoy it. It is a little overrated. It's structurally, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Introducing characters that feel like they're going to be important only for them to disappear. I don't really get invested in any of their deaths unless I'm just going through the eyes of a child where it's just death in general is sad. Doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
But the effects are really good. I like the dreamlike feel of it. And it does have very memorable scenes, although maybe they don't make a lot of sense. They will stick with you forever.
Right. And I will say, like, another thing that this movie does not do well is it's not economical. Like I said, when he goes on the adventure, we're already a half hour in, and I've kind of enjoyed that half hour, and then it just drags. Like, there are long stretches where I'm like, is this over? Like, I should... It's only been 45 minutes. It feels like an hour and a half.
You're right. I think they should have done some rewrites or something.
Yeah.
But I see why people would like it.
Yeah, sure.
I see if like you were introduced to this very young, especially when it came out, if that there was really not too much. I guess there was other stuff like it. We named a couple.
When you're a stupid kid, you can like stupid stuff. Just
what was that? I liked that movie as a kid. It was like Kangaroo Warriors of Virtue.
I don't know what
I'm probably going to rewatch it and be like, this movie sucks. But I remember as a kid, I liked it.
You're thinking of Kangaroo Jack, right?
No.
You're thinking of Tank Girl, right?
No, I reviewed Tank Girl. Right. I saw Kangaroo Jack in theaters. Everyone thought that was going to be a kid's movie. And I'm like, we didn't expect a weird crime drama.
Wow. Never seen Kangaroo Jack.
It's something.
All right. Okay. Well.
But yeah, there we go. NeverEnding Story. Happy anniversary. Sorry we didn't like you that much.
Wait, how many years?
40 years, I think.
Oh, God damn it. I am old. All right. Okay.
Doug, where can we find you?
Oh, Good Times, Great Movies. 80s movie podcast.
Yes. We have the sticker. We have the sticker over here.
It's over there somewhere. I mentioned earlier Caddyshack 2. It's our latest episode. I kind of like Caddyshack 2.
At the time of this recording, it's your latest. Yeah. But yes.
At the time of this recording, also, we had a Patreon that we shut down. It wasn't worth the time. And all of our Patreon stuff is moving over. So it's normally you get 2 episodes a month. You get an episode every single Friday for the entire year. And it starts with Blame It on Rio, which is a fucking gross ass movie.
Well, that's going to be fun. Unlike you, I'm not a quitter. I'm a tough guy.
No, that's
my
cool.
Patreon's still going. My Patreon's still going. And this is the first episode we've shot with these nice cameras. So patreon.com/hackthemovies, please. Please.
This is why you can't pay me for these appearances.
Yeah.
Spending your Patreon money on cameras.
I needed new cameras.
Come on.
I needed new cameras. Patreon.com. Check out our merch store. Book me on Cameo. I'm on Cameo. I made it. I finally made it, Doug.
Oh, boy. That's great.
Do you know how I found out that I was finally going to be accepted for Cameo? Because I've been trying for years. So, not the Joey C.
Wait, you had to be accepted?
Yeah, you had to be
I guess you can't, like...
You had to be like
Because
approved.
then everybody would be on cameo.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
this is how I learned the floodgates were finally opened.
Okay.
Not Joey C, who was on my show.
Okay.
The Joey C who
A different Joey
calls
C.
into WATP and derails the show sometimes.
These are two different Joey
Two
C's.
different
I didn't
Joey
even know
C's.
there were two in the world.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Carl talks about a Joey C on his show. I have a different Joey C. It's very frustrating.
This is so confusing.
However, that Joey C that calls it a Carl show, when I found out that fucking guy had a cameo, and I'm like, oh, that guy's nothing. Sure enough, I'm going to get approved. I'm like, yes, I did it.
So what you're saying is anyone can be on
Yeah, any
cameo.
fucking loser can get one now.
But it's you, it's Eric Roberts, and then there's some other people on there is what you're telling me.
That Vinny Paulino got one before me. I was really upset about
okay.
that.
All right.
Doug, if you want one, I'll give you my affiliate link.
How much does it cost? How much does getting a Tony cameo?
I forget. I think
run
I have.
me?
It might be $15. I have it set for like the minimum, whatever it is. I think it's more if you want it within 24
Nope.
hours.
That's worth it. Folks, get it.
Cameo.
It's worth it.
I read wrestling promos. People ask me to read wrestling promos. I have to inspire people. I had to inspire someone, motivate someone to hype him up for a date he was going on. And at that point, I hadn't had a date in like a year. I'm like, why did you pick me to do this? I had to make someone feel better about them not getting the job that they wanted.
Oh my God, this is adorable.
It's
so
great.
I can write the dirtiest shit I could think of, and you have to read it?
Well, I can turn things down.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Hire me. I'll propose to your girlfriend, or I'll let you know that you're leaving her. Let me know. I'll do it all. And that is it from us. Goodbye.
Bye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.